Hi and hello, it's another Murdock Music Minute, the channel that wants to talk about music but is stylistically a bit all over the place. For once from a different corner of the couch, and it shall be known as the Indie Corner. Today's album review contains droning guitars, epic track length, and mystic lore. For the first time on the channel, I'll be talking about an album that was released in this century. Yay! The band is called Elder and the album is Lore. To those who've come to this video expecting maybe something about Songs from the Elder by Kiss or the video game The Elder Scrolls, sorry, but you may want to stick around. As always, before I talk about the music on the album, let's this time really briefly find out what this band is all about. Elder are originally a quartet from a small town in Massachusetts. They started out as a doomy stoner metal band, releasing their self-titled debut in 2008. Their second album, Dead Roots Stirring, already went into a slightly more psychedelic stoner metal direction, showing the band was eager to stretch the confines of the genre. After some demo releases and an EP, Elder released their third full-length album, Lore, in 2015, that should also gain some attention outside the metal community. And here is the good piece. A beautiful sleeve design. Isn't that gorgeous? Great design, great graphics. Only 5 tracks on this album, but double vinyl, so that will tell you quite a bit about the potential length of the tracks on this album. I still think this artwork is just fascinating. These sort of dreamy and indeed mystical landscapes that seem to come from, I don't know, the subconscious or a kind of far away fairy tale land. The album also comes with a lyric sheet. These are all the lyrics. There is a lot of space for instrumental passages on the entire album. But now to the music. Things kick off with the 10-minute compendium that starts with a terrific, nervous twin guitar lick that sounds a little bit like southern rock or Wishbone Ash with too much adrenaline. After this build-up, the song soon turns into a chugging stoner behemoth with droning walls of guitar. And the lengthy song then switches from more up-tempo, very driving, rocking passages to halftime parts that are riff-heavy and very suitable for headbanging. And these different parts and layers are smartly linked together. Rick DeSalvo's voice, as is not unusual in the stoner rock genre, is mixed very much into the background. And the focus here is more on the interplay between the band members and the great guitar work, as well as the guitar solos that are going on time and time again. The song talks about a vague knowledge or a vague feeling for some ancient knowledge or some lost ancient truth that is buried by the flaws of modern life or the expectations in our society. The next track, Legend, starts slower in a more melodic stoner or doom style, but halfway through really gets into next gear with exciting guitar breaks and powerful drums, while some of the cleaner, more floating guitar work seems to come from genres like alternative or post-rock. Around the 7-minute mark, the song breaks into a really cool guitar solo, one of many across this whole album. To then return and close with the instrumental main theme of the song. The structures, the track structures are lengthy and thus proggy on this album, but most of all, the band still plays heavy rock on lore. The song Legend talks about ancient creeds, faith, or mystical beliefs of old that have lost their meaning. And I quote from the lyrics, "Facing the dark, hollow and dead, what we know in our hearts." Then we get to the title track, a 15-minute epic that is built around carefully constructed guitar licks. We also have an atmospheric, almost ambient break in this song until the band fades in again with a repetitive driving motif that builds into a majestic crescendo. And continues in a rocking passage, heavier riffing again, and finally a slow fade out. This is a really majestic, almost overbearing track, but never gets bombastic in an unpleasant way. This blend of musical elements from metal, space rock, and also a bit of progginess is sometimes by others compared to acts like Mastodon or Baroness. I also hear similarities with the heavier moments of a band like Motorcycle here. Lore again speaks of secret or ancient rites and knowledge, apparently in opposition to our modern society. Song number 4, Dead Weight, is the shortest track on the album with 9.5 minutes. Compared to the other ones, it is a more straightforward stoner or alternative metal song. But still, even in this one, we get a surprisingly melodic break. Deadweight seems also to have some kind of social or hidden political comment. The burden of freedom's weight, yearning for form and shape. And we scream the oath, crushing the weak and grinding on. And the album is rounded off with another masterful track, Spirit at Aphelion. This one starts off like a real prog rock song with acoustic guitars, soft keyboards. And then the stoner guitars kick in again to scorch auditory canals. Later on, there is another very melodic passage, great interplay between the guitars, one of the great strengths of this album, and even a mellotron sound. Aphelion, by the way, is the point in an orbit of a comet or a planet when it is most distant from the sun. Spirit at Aphelion really is stoner rock played with the attitude of progressive rock, or the spirit of prog rock brought to the stoner rock genre. Overall, Lore is exciting music, but also very thoughtful music. Metal fans, and I wouldn't necessarily consider myself one, can still headbang to this music, but it can also take you on a journey in your mind. And this is music you can really let wash all over yourself. Yeah. Elder, a band to definitely keep an eye on. The progressive and the psychedelic elements would increase with each following release by the band. And by the way, they have just put out a brand new album called Innate Passage, which is insanely good. But for now, let's keep it there. Thanks for listening, and most of all, you should listen into this very album. So that's me from my indie corner. See you again in another video. Cheers.